All right, blessings. Hello, family. Relations of all nations. Oh, it's 6 o'clock. Let's do this. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Monday mindfulness meditation practice. As always, I'm so grateful to be here with you and just breathe, just practice being, practice opening the channels of receptivity, practice being present, practice practicing. Blessings and welcome, everyone. If meditation is new to you, it's just all about showing up. It's really, that's the 99.9% of it. If you don't even know what to do, mindful meditation, what we're going to share tonight is a brilliant way to ease your way in. And even if you're an old school hardcore meditator and you've been meditating for years, mindfulness, mindful meditation, the practice in and of itself is just so juicy and so grounded and so simple. And really, that's what we're getting to. We're getting into and back to the simplicity of simply being, of being present, and of allowing our senses to expand to such a point that our intuitive nature, our telepathic nature, those senses that are supernatural, really, and that combine to activate when all five senses are calibrated, synced up, and given the correct conditions to elevate and to expand within them own selves, then a higher level of awareness begins to happen. And neither is better or worse than the other. It is what it is. Yet there's a natural aspect that is contained within you that you have, that we all have in our physical bodies, in our conscious beings, and that is to become aware that we are more than just a body. And our practice tonight is really simple. We're only going to hang out maybe a little over 30 minutes. The practice that I share is this mindfulness where we take 2 minutes and we go through each aspect of our mindfulness practice. And what is included is stillness, is conscious breathing, expansion of the senses, observing thoughts, redirection, and acceptance. And all we do, what I'm going to do here, we're going to talk for another few minutes. I'm going to read maybe a paragraph or two about mindful meditation, so that if it is new, and just to remind us of what the aspects are, what the root aspects are. And then we'll review again what we're going to do, and we will hop in. And you know what, where I'm at, it's actually really warm all of a sudden. So I'm going to get a little fan on, and I'll be right back. Just 1 second. All right. Nice. Now this might be a little too much of a Beyonce fan. We're going to see. In the meantime, I'm going to read to you about mindfulness. Mindfulness in everyday life is the practice of consciously placing one's attention in the present moment by observing what takes place in the now. And if you know, blessings. Thank you for hopping on, Sam. And Chris for Skylark hopping on over at YouTube. I appreciate it. And everyone at Facebook. And that now moment, what has really come to me, and I know for others who've shared with me back, that's the precipice, that's the singularity, that's that gateway, the 0 point that we can access in this energy body, in this energy vehicle that we are. And again, given the correct conditions of activation, we begin to make ourselves available to being, embodying, and becoming naturally a 0 point energy being, right? We become that which only needs to be turned on once, and then it will keep going, right? A perpetual motion vehicle. That's what you are. In essence, that's what I am. That's what we all are. We have this capability of our physical bodies, again, when it's synced up with the mind, the emotions, and those aspects are aligned, then we don't have to be distracted by the mind, by the emotions taking us left and right, they can all sync up in a divine harmony. And this gives right of way to us relaxing. This is all about chilling out. It's all about learning to relax and learning to be okay with peace. You know, meditation is you're zeroing out, you're piecing out, you're chilling out. And it's about really getting comfortable. If there are a lot of thoughts, getting comfortable with them. And whatever's going on in your practice, being okay with it and learning a sense of just detachment in a way, but ultimately then we create those correct conditions for these aspects of ourselves to become united. And it is that in that coherent unity and that unification of mind, body, and emotions with spirit, with source, with 0 point, with God, with love, with organ, with scalar waves, with prana, with chi, whatever name you'll give it. When we create the correct conditions for more of us to be channels really for that life force energy, to be at one with that zero, that's the now. That is the present moment, right? And we're aware when we're in the mind, in the thoughts, constantly projecting past and future, that we're not in the moment. And so our practice helps us to find that moment, and really not that we're finding it, actively looking for it, but again, we're creating the correct conditions within ourselves so that it finds us. So mindfulness in everyday life is the practice of consciously placing one's attention in the present moment by observing what takes place in the now. This includes all that arises in one's mind and every feeling that occurs in one's body or emotions. The most important part of mindfulness is the practice of observing what abides without passing judgment on it. The practice of mindfulness lies in being present with what is without feeling the need to change what is. Now, isn't that just a big deal, right? Just in life, to not judge ourselves, to not judge others, to not need to change ourselves, to not need to change others. That's pretty massive. I need to adjust this fan. It's a little too bouncing. Right? That's pretty massive to be able to get into that space of just allowing yourself, of just allowing others to be whatever they are, and to allow you to be whatever you are. So we're going to get into our practice. The first 2-minute session is stillness. So please get into a comfortable seated position for yourself, whatever that is. You can lay down, but I would encourage you to try sitting up, prop up your back with pillows, or sit up against a wall. And whatever feels that it allows you to feel supported so that you don't have to think about your knees or your back or anything else. Thank you for hopping on YouTube and saying hi, and everyone at Facebook and at Instagram land. I'm really, really grateful. Thank you for being here. You know, and everything that I share, I pray it serves your path of spiritual growth and sovereignty. Okay. So get nice and comfy. And this first 2-minute sit, so we're going to do 6 2-minute sits. And the first 2-minute sit is no fidgeting. It is being so completely still that even if you get an itch on the tip of your nose, you don't itch it. Even if something feels funky, you don't move, right? To the best of your ability. So for our first 2-minute sit, again, make any adjustments so your back, your knees, anything that might generally ail you feels supported, so that we can go in and just start to feel into this practice tonight. So again, the first 2 minutes is stillness. So we're going to see if we can sit for complete stillness for 2 minutes, just the expansion and contraction of the body, breathing, and the swallow reflex, right? Might be some movement that your physical body will initiate. But ultimately, being completely still is the practice. So let's go ahead. We're going to start the timer. And go ahead and close your eyes. Sit nice and tall. Take a breath in and out. And now as you settle in, just allow your body to breathe. Your eyes are gently closed. Let your mind be fully aware of how beautifully still your body is. Practicing stillness. Just breathing in and breathing out, sitting perfectly still, just being. Okay. Slowly open your eyes. Take a nice breath in and out. And just bring your awareness back now. So the second exercise is conscious breathing. And again, it's a 2-minute sit. And we just observe the breath. We observe the air as it moves in and out through the nostrils. You get distracted, you think about something else, you get fidgety. Just bring your awareness back to that literal sense, that literal feeling of the air moving in and out through the nose. So your mouth will be gently closed. Thank you for joining us. If you're just hopping in, we have 5 more sets, just 2-minute little sets, 5 sets. Hey, Charles, good to see you. So again, this set is conscious breathing, 2 minutes. So make sure if you hopped on, get comfy, prop yourself up. So everything in your body, your back, your knees, everything that needs to feel supported does. Take a nice breath. So conscious breathing. Let's start the timer and we'll close the eyes. Sitting nice and tall, make your adjustments. You can take another breath in and out and just relax. Conscious breathing, allow your mouth to gently close and observe the breath moving in and out through the nose, how it feels moving in and out through the nostrils, allowing the eyes to be softly closed, the mouth softly closed. If your mind gets distracted, just bring the awareness back to observing the breath moving in and out of the nose, nice and easy. Okay. Take a nice breath in and out. Slowly open the eyes. So we're starting to sink in. We're starting to drop in a little bit deeper. Maybe even feeling a little shift in your energy, a shift in your mind, your mental space. And now we're going to drop into the third round of our 2-minute sits, and it is expansion of the senses. This one, we're going to feel into the heartbeat. Even if you want to take your hand over your physical heart, over the left side of the center of the chest, feel the heartbeat. And we're not going to literally be laying the hand over the chest as we meditate, but just to bring that awareness into the body. You know, sometimes we can be really in the mind and not in our body. And grounding is so important just on a day-to-day basis, to feel a connection with the earth energy, to maintain a sense of centeredness. Really, when you're in your center, when you're relaxed, when you're in tune with your heart, with the heartbeat of the earth, right? Like the Schumann resonance, you're operating on a different frequency. You're operating in the world, yet not of the world. You're grounded, you're centered, you're balanced and aligned. And there's a whole different version of you, of me, of all of us that is given the right of way when we're in peace. And so expansion of the senses, our third set. In our seated meditation, we're going to feel the heartbeat. We're going to sense the air on our skin. If there's any aroma in the air, we're going to smell. Just let our sense of smell show us what's in the air. We're going to listen to sounds happening inside and outside of the room. So again, if you just joined us, thank you and welcome. We have 4 more sits, just little 2-minute sits for our practice tonight, mindful meditation. So again, make any adjustments to your seat, get comfortable. We'll start the little timer. Close your eyes, take a nice breath in and out. Relax. Relax your eyes, your mouth, your jaw, your face. And now bring awareness to the room where you are. Just allow your sense of hearing to become aware of any sounds taking place inside the room where you are now. And let your sense of hearing, of listening, expand beyond the walls, beyond the space of the room where you are. And listen to the many different radio stations operating outside of this room now. Just listen. And now allow your sense of smell to pick up any aromas in the air that might be where you are. And if there's a fan on or a breeze through the window, just feeling the air on your skin. Maybe you are outside right now listening to this. And from that place, feeling right into the beat of your heart. Listening, feeling. Beautiful. Take a breath, take a moment. Bringing the awareness back to the space. And I know it's right around here, the expansion of the senses, before we get into our next round of observing thoughts, that I definitely begin to feel what I call yoga high. I begin to feel this like, aha, the peace starting to really align through the mind, the body, the emotions. So just check in with your own energy. Where are you feeling? How are you feeling at this point of your practice tonight? And again, without judging it, without making it right or wrong, just whatever it is. Maybe you're frustrated. Maybe you're not feeling very peaceful, and that's okay too. So our next 2-minute sit is observing thoughts. And this is without judgment and without adding to the thoughts. just allowing them to be whatever they are as they arise. So just observing the thoughts without adding to them. And I say this all the time, but there's a teaching that speaks to a thought has about a second to like a 2.5 to a 5 second lifespan. And if we don't add to that thought, if we don't give it juice, if we don't give it energy, that it'll poof, it'll just disappear. And now, granted, most likely another thought for most of us will just come along and do its best to bring our awareness there or distract us. But if we don't add to that thought, whatever the thought is, and we don't sort of make a train and add thoughts to that thoughts and that thought and that thought, then we can maintain this sense of sovereignty, this sense of peacefulness, this sense of stillness, of just being mindful of what's going on in the mind without adding to it. Okay? So just observing thoughts and without judging those thoughts either, without making them good or bad or right or wrong. So again, any little adjustments to your seat, we'll put the timer on, take a nice deep breath in and out and close the eyes. And just drop within, observing thoughts without judging them, without adding to them. Just let them go by. Let them go by. Just observing your thoughts without adding to them, without judging them. Beautiful. Slowly take a breath, open your eyes. Again, just check in with your energy. How do you feel? You feel more expanded in your frequency. You feel more grounded, or maybe you feel a little heady. Maybe you feel a little high, a little spacey. Just notice how you feel. And just take note, gather information. So we have 2 more sets. The next one is redirection. When the student becomes aware they are judging their thoughts or adding to them, or are fidgeting, they practice redirection by shifting their awareness back to stillness and starting all over again. So all we're going to do is we're going to sit and we're going to allow whatever happens to happen. But the moment we become aware that something is happening, sometimes, that's when we're going to shift back to stillness, back to that first practice of just being completely still without fidgeting. And sometimes we can be in a meditation and we can be having a thought and then another thought and another thought and then thinking up a whole orchestra of a situation. And we've kind of forgotten that we're seated in meditation. And so we're going to remember that we're actually participating in meditating and practicing once we become aware, like, oh, wow, I've gone off on this thought train, or I'm just getting really fidgety and I don't feel comfortable. Or you just recognize that you're having a thought. Maybe you're thinking about someone and you're having a judgment about them, or whatever it's taking you into this forest, into this land. Once you become aware of that, you just cut it, you just stop, and you redirect yourself, you redirect your awareness, you redirect your intention to being completely still, which means no fidgeting. If you get an itch, no itching, right? If something feels funky, your foot goes asleep, it goes asleep. You're not allowed to move. So I'm going to invite you to practice best that you can that. So make your adjustments now, right? If you know your knee is hurting you or something just needs a little more support with your cushions, like get comfortable. Okay, so you feel supported. Okay, redirection. Here we go. Finding your sweet spot, closing the eyes. And again, I always like to just take a breath whenever I come in for these little 2-minute sessions. Redirection. So just sit, eyes softly closed. It's okay to have thoughts. You're just being. The moment you find yourself wanting to change your thoughts or judge your thoughts or be distracted or get fidgety or start thinking of the movie you saw last night or anything that takes you way out of the way, once you recognize that, just let it all go and come back to sitting completely still. Only the breath moving in and out of the body and only that swallow reflex. But for now, just sit. Redirect to stillness. Once you become aware, you are distracted. Beautiful. Slowly take a breath, open your eyes. So just checking in, how was that for you? Were you able to just stay in that zone, or did you get to that space where you got to redirect and just come back to complete stillness? Were you able to just stay there? Observe your thoughts without judging them or adding to them. And it's okay, whatever happened or didn't happen, right? But it can be helpful to reflect and to recognize what your experience was. So we have one more sit for 2 minutes, and it is acceptance. And this one is juicy, it's lovely, it's easy because no matter what happens, you just accept it, right? So again, we're not changing it, we're not trying to judge it, but even if you find yourself judging, right, in your mind, a thought that you're having about yourself, about your life, about someone else, it's okay. You don't do anything at all. You just accept it. If you find yourself fidgeting or itching or something, get distracted, it's okay. You just accept it, right? So whatever goes on, if that foot falls asleep and you do need to move your foot, then it's okay. You just accept it and you move your foot. Now, equally, you can let yourself or your foot fall asleep and just accept that as well. So you can flip with those paradigms as you'd like. But ultimately, this last session, this last 2 minutes is just about letting everything be whatever it is and being okay with it. And that's huge. That's huge to learn this and to take it out into life. So one more set, acceptance. Here we go. Make any little adjustments and we'll drop right in. Closing the eyes, taking that breath, and just being. Accepting whatever comes up. Just accept whatever happens, just acceptance. Taking a breath in and out. Beautiful. How do you feel? Are you feeling expanded? Are you feeling peaceful? A little energy high, a little naturally high, maybe? You know, there's this sense of your energy expanding and at the same time feeling very, very contained. And so, how do you feel? And just asking yourself, checking in with yourself. You know, do you feel different? Does your energy feel different now than when you tuned in a little while ago? And just exploring that. Cultivating peace, cultivating peace, cultivating really the correct conditions that peace is a natural manifestation. So peaceful, yes, and contained. Yeah. Ah, the Perkins Jam. It's been a while. Hey, thank you for joining us on YouTube. So I did want to let you know that if you're at Grid Mind Science on Instagram, I'm really grateful for the followers there. And I'll be starting my Spiritual Apprentice Book Club this Saturday, 12 o'clock noon Pacific Standard Time, with my book, The Reiki Apprentice, where you're going to really learn how to heal your life by understanding metaphysics, understanding your multidimensional nature. And of course, in the book, we're going to learn about the grids and how you're connected to the entire universe through the grid matrix of collective consciousness. But we start at the beginning, where you're a child. And, you know, grid mind science is really the science of healing and ascension. But to understand some basics of science and quantum science and to understand your rite of passage along your healing path is that which is the initiation. It's all about knowing thyself divine, and practicing self-mastery. Sam says, I just had a breakthrough this evening and was writing to myself that I needed to pray, meditate, but doing it with you was super special. You were my affirming voice of the universe tonight. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Oh, thanks, Sam. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful you're here. Thanks for hopping on to Charles and Skylark and Perkins Jam and anyone else that's out there. So blessings. If you want any more information about the book club that I will be facilitating, there's no contract, so you can drop in anytime. It's on Zoom, and it's a donation, $2 to $5 through PayPal, and you will have homework to do. So it's a healing, it's an apprenticeship. That's why it's called Spiritual Apprentice Book Club. Let's see, there's another one. I have your book. Yes, it's the same book. It's the same book. If you have my book, Confessions of a Spiritual Apprentice, we're doing it with the same book, which is now called The Reiki Apprentice, not to confuse you. Perkins Jam says, I know I work on the weekends unless we can go back and listen. Ah, that's the first time someone's asked about that. I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to see how it goes because it is kind of a live by live. I'll have to think about that. But you know what? Like I said, no contract. You can drop in when you do. And it's the kind of thing where that book is like you open it up at any page and it will give you something juicy. So this is my book that we're going to be working with, The Reiki Apprentice. And if you're on my mailing list, I actually sent out the PDF version of it, which you can download for $5. The book is $20 on Amazon, but it's also digitally on Kobo in Canada and digitally on Kindle for $9.99 on each of those. But you can download the PDF if you're on my mailing list, which you can get onto by going to my website, tuesdaymaythomas.com, and subscribing. And I'll send you out my latest love letter where you can download the PDF there and use that if you would like. All right. Have a great night, everyone. Take care. And thank you for being here. Blessings. Thank you. Thank you on Insta.